The afternoon sun beat down on the bustling fairgrounds, casting long dancing shadows across the eager faces gathered there. A palpable hum of excitement and anticipation rippled through the crowd, all eyes fixed on the makeshift arena. Then, a sudden, almost imperceptible shift occurred. A little girl, barely a wisp, her bright eyes wide with innocent curiosity, blinked. Once, slowly, deliberately. Then again. Her gaze was locked onto the large, powerful police dog, whose very presence had commanded a respectful distance from everyone else. What happened next, in that suspended moment, would etch itself into the collective memory of every single person present, leaving the entire room, the entire outdoor space, utterly speechless. It was a moment that defied expectation, a silent testament to something far deeper than mere training or command. This was Lily, a remarkably perceptive and deeply empathetic young girl, just 8 years old, navigating the world with a gentle spirit and an insatiable love for animals. She lived in a quiet suburban American town, a place where days unfolded with predictable rhythms and community events like this public safety fair were highlights on the calendar. Lily possessed an innate ability to connect with creatures great and small, a silent language understood only between her and the animals she encountered. Her parents often joked that she spoke critter, a playful nod to her uncanny knack for understanding their unspoken cues. Today, attending the K9 unit demonstration with her family, Lily was in her element, completely absorbed by the powerful, disciplined police dogs. She watched with a mixture of awe and admiration as they performed complex routines, their handlers issuing sharp, concise commands. The air, previously filled with a light-hearted buzz, began to thicken with an unfamiliar tension. During a critical part of the demonstration, one of the police dogs, a magnificent German shepherd named Coda, suddenly broke formation. His movements became erratic, his usually focused gaze darting around, and low guttural growls vibrated in his chest. Coda was clearly agitated, his powerful body stiffening in defiance of his handler's increasingly urgent commands. The officer, a seasoned veteran with years of experience, struggled visibly to regain control. His voice, typically firm and authoritative, now carried an edge of bewilderment, almost pleading. The crowd, initially mesmerized, now shifted uneasily. Whispers rippled through the onlookers, a collective sigh of concern. Some parents instinctively pulled their children a little closer, a subtle but undeniable sign of growing apprehension. Coda's agitation wasn't a playful skip or a momentary lapse. It was a profound, unsettling distress that seemed to emanate from deep within him. The officer tried again, his hand moving to Coda's harness, his voice a low, reassuring murmur that nonetheless held a hint of desperation. But Coda remained unresponsive, his ears flattened, his powerful tail tucked low, an unmistakable sign of unease. The usual crisp professionalism of the K9 unit demonstration had dissolved into an uncomfortable impasse. One could almost feel the collective breath being held, the growing anxiety radiating from the crowd. Lily, however, remained rooted to her spot, her gaze unwavering, not moving an inch. She wasn't fearful. Instead, her young face held an expression of profound concentration, as if trying to decipher a secret language. The incident hung heavy in the air, a perplexing mystery unfolding before everyone's eyes. Before we delve deeper into this captivating turn of events and uncover the extraordinary connection that was about to unfold, please remember to hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss the rest of this incredible story and many more like it. Join our community for tales of courage, empathy, and unexpected heroes. Coda's agitation, rather than subsiding, intensified with each passing second, a low, guttural growl rumbling deep in his chest. His powerful frame tensed, muscles coiling under his sleek fur, and his sharp barks pierced the air, echoing off the nearby buildings, startling pigeons into flight. Officer Miller, his handler, a veteran K-9 officer whose calm demeanor usually kept the most boisterous dogs in line, visibly struggled. His commands, usually firm and clear, now carried an edge of desperation. "Coda, heel! Settle down, boy!" he urged, his voice strained, leash held taut in his gloved hands as the magnificent German shepherd lunged forward, then back, a frantic dance of defiance. A ripple of unease spread through the gathered crowd. Whispers erupted, hushed and anxious, as parents began instinctively pulling their children closer, their faces etched with concern. The festive, almost carnival-like atmosphere of the public safety fair evaporated, replaced by a nervous hush broken only by Coda's increasingly erratic behavior. People started to back away slowly, creating a widening arc around the K-9 demonstration area, their eyes fixed on the struggling officer and the agitated dog. The air grew heavy with unspoken fear, a primal instinct taking over as the crowd assessed the potential danger. It was clear this was not part of the planned demonstration. The immediate obstacle was undeniably Coda's unpredictable behavior. His usual laser focus and unwavering obedience had completely dissolved. There was an underlying, unsettling mystery as to why this highly trained animal, usually a model of discipline, was acting so completely out of character. Was he ill, injured, or was something else entirely at play? The questions hung unspoken, adding to the palpable tension. Officer Miller, his brow furrowed with a mixture of frustration and alarm, tried every technique he knew. He spoke in soft, reassuring tones, then switched to sharper, more authoritative commands. He attempted to guide Coda through familiar basic obedience routines, hoping to reestablish a sense of familiarity and control. He tried to lure him with a favorite toy, a worn tug rope, but Coda ignored it completely, his focus seemingly elsewhere, his eyes darting frantically. Other officers, seeing Miller's struggle and the crowd's growing apprehension, cautiously approached the perimeter of the demonstration area. Their stance was watchful, their expressions grim, hands hovering near their belts, ready to intervene if the situation escalated further. The unspoken understanding was clear. If Coda couldn't be controlled, more drastic measures might be necessary to ensure public safety. Amidst the growing chaos and fear, amidst the retreating figures and nervous murmurs, one small observer remained transfixed. Lily, her bright, innocent eyes unblinking, stood her ground, her small hands clasped lightly in front of her. While others saw only an out-of-control police dog, Lily saw something different. Her innate empathy, her deep love for creatures great and small, allowed her to perceive beyond the snarling facade. She noticed subtle cues that others, caught in their own fear, completely missed. A faint whimper, almost lost beneath the barks. A slight favoring of one paw as Coda shifted his weight. Most compellingly, she saw a flicker of distress, a profound and undeniable fear, deep within Coda's usually alert, intelligent eyes. It wasn't aggression, she realized with a child's intuitive wisdom, but pure, unadulterated pain radiating from the animal. This was not the behavior of a dangerous dog, but of a deeply troubled one. The others saw a threat. Lily saw a plea. Lily's heart pounded a gentle rhythm against her ribs, a counterpoint to the growing panic emanating from the crowd. Her parents' hushed warnings, their hands reaching out to restrain her, felt distant, like sounds filtered through water. But Coda's eyes, those distressed, flickering brown eyes, drew her forward with an invisible, irresistible tether. She understood, with an instinct far beyond her years, that the magnificent German Shepherd needed something only she seemed to perceive. Gently, she slipped from her father's grasp, her small frame moving with a quiet determination that surprised even herself. Each step she took toward the agitated dog felt momentous, a slow-motion advance into an unknown space. The officer, still struggling with Coda's leash, glanced up, his expression a mix of surprise and alarm at the sight of the child approaching. Whispers rippled through the onlookers, some murmuring disapproval, others holding their breath in fearful anticipation. Lily ignored them all. Her gaze remained fixed on Coda, a silent conversation passing between them. The dog's low growls continued, his powerful body tensing and relaxing in unpredictable bursts, but Lily felt no fear. Only a profound sense of connection, a silent plea for understanding that resonated deep within her empathetic soul. She stopped a few feet away, close enough to feel the nervous energy radiating from the animal, yet far enough to convey respect. Coda's head snapped up, his ears swiveling, trying to process this unexpected intrusion. His dark eyes locked onto hers, searching, questioning. Instead of flinching, instead of backing away, Lily felt an inexplicable urge. Slowly, deliberately, she blinked. Not once, but twice, her eyelids closing and opening in a soft, almost imperceptible rhythm, a gesture of profound empathy, a small, trusting offering from her innocent heart. It was a silent acknowledgement, a childlike form of communication that transcended words. The effect was instantaneous and breathtaking. Coda, who minutes before had seemed on the verge of erupting, froze. The low growl in his chest hitched, then slowly, miraculously, subsided. His muscles, taut with agitation, began to relax. His powerful head, held rigidly high, slowly dipped downwards, his gaze softening, losing its wildness. The tension that had coiled around his form began to unravel, replaced by a subtle shift in his entire demeanor. It was as if Lily's gentle double blink had unlocked something deep within him, had spoken a language only he understood. A collective gasp swept through the onlookers, a wave of stunned disbelief washing over the area. The officer, Coda's handler, stood utterly transfixed. His grip on the leash, which had been white-knuckled moments before, now hung limply. He stared first at Lily, then at Coda, his mouth slightly agape. In all his years of training, in all the countless hours spent understanding and working with Coda, he had never witnessed such a transformation. He had seen Coda perform under pressure, seen him work with unwavering focus, but never had he seen him respond to a human, let alone a small child, with such immediate, profound calm. The dog, who had been snarling, defiant, and seemingly beyond control, was now merely looking at Lily, his breath evening out, a quiet curiosity replacing the earlier distress in his expressive eyes. The air, thick with dread just moments ago, now hummed with an almost reverent silence, broken only by the fading whispers of the wind. The air, thick with dread just moments ago, now hummed with an almost reverent silence, broken only by the fading whispers of the wind. With Coda now calm and still, Lily felt emboldened to take another tentative step forward. The handler, still reeling from the shocking transformation, made no move to stop her. His trained eyes scanned the dog, searching for any lingering signs of distress, but found none. Coda remained focused on Lily, his tail giving a tentative, almost imperceptible wag. As Lily drew closer, her eyes, sharp and keen despite her youth, noticed something that had escaped everyone else's attention in the chaos. There, nestled almost invisibly between the pads of Koda's front left paw, was a tiny, dark speck. It was almost perfectly camouflaged against his fur, barely discernible unless one was looking specifically for it. Lily knelt gently, not touching Koda, but extending a hand slowly, palm up, in a gesture of pure trust. Koda, instead of recoiling, leaned into the space she offered, his soft muzzle brushing her fingers. Her gaze remained fixed on the small anomaly. "Officer," she said, her voice a soft, clear whisper that somehow cut through the lingering tension, her eyes never leaving Koda's paw. I think he has something in his paw." The handler, jolted from his stunned stupor, knelt beside her, a flicker of professional curiosity replacing his earlier bewilderment. He followed Lily's gaze, his eyes narrowing as he finally spotted the tiny intruder. It was a vicious-looking thorn, long and slender, likely from a thorny bush in the nearby wooded area, driven deep into Koda's sensitive foot. The minimal bleeding around it suggested it had been there for some time, perhaps even for the duration of the demonstration, causing excruciating pain with every step and every movement. The realization hit him with the force of a physical blow. Of course, how could he have missed something so obvious, yet so hidden? Koda's agitation, his growls, his unresponsiveness, it all made perfect sense now. The poor dog wasn't being disobedient or aggressive. He was in pain, reacting instinctually to an unseen tormentor. A wave of mortification washed over the handler, quickly followed by immense gratitude. He looked at Lily, a child barely old enough to tie her own shoes, who had seen what his years of experience and specialized training had overlooked. Her calm demeanor, her gentle approach, and above all, her empathetic observation had not only diffused a potentially dangerous situation, but had also revealed the root cause of his partner's distress. He carefully reached for Koda's paw, who, surprisingly, allowed the inspection without a single flinch, his trust seemingly extended to the officer once more, perhaps bolstered by Lily's comforting presence. The thorn was indeed deeply embedded, a nasty splinter causing palpable discomfort. The crowd, which had been holding its collective breath, now exhaled in a harmonious sigh of understanding and relief. Whispers spread like wildfire, not of fear, but of admiration and astonishment. "A thorn?" someone murmured. "All that fuss for a tiny thorn?" But as the truth settled in, the simplicity of the explanation only amplified Lily's remarkable insight. They had seen a snarling, agitated police dog, a potential threat. Lily had seen a hurting animal, her unique blend of empathy and sharp observation cutting through the superficial display of aggression to the underlying pain. The tension that had gripped the fairgrounds fully evaporated, replaced by a tangible sense of awe. People began clapping, slowly at first, then growing into a resounding ovation. It wasn't just for Koda's sudden calm or the handler's eventual understanding, but overwhelmingly for the little girl who had, with nothing but a blink and a whispered observation, unraveled a complex mystery. They witnessed not just a resolution to an immediate problem, but the extraordinary power of a child's intuition and compassion. Lily stood there, a small figure amidst the now cheering crowd, her cheeks flushed, but her gaze still fixed on Koda, a silent understanding passing between them that transcended the noise and the praise. The air was no longer thick with dread, but with a new kind of magic, born from an unexpected connection between a girl and a dog. The handler, still reeling from the sudden shift in Koda's demeanor, finally regained his composure. He knelt beside Koda, his eyes scanning the dog's paws, Guided by Lily's small, pointing finger, there it was, almost invisible against the dark pad of Coda's front right paw, a tiny, wicked thorn, its tip gleaming maliciously. With a delicate touch, the handler pulled out a pair of small tweezers from his first aid kit, a tool he always carried for Coda's minor scrapes and cuts. Lily, without instruction, gently placed a comforting hand on Coda's head, stroking his fur with a soothing rhythm. The German shepherd, remarkably, remained still, his focus entirely on the girl, allowing the handler to carefully extract the painful sliver. As the thorn was removed, Coda let out a soft sigh, a sound of profound relief that seemed to ripple through the hushed crowd. He then turned his large head, his intelligent eyes meeting Lily's. Slowly, deliberately, he nuzzled her hand, a gesture of deep gratitude that transcended any spoken thank you. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated connection, a silent promise exchanged between a child and an animal, witnessed by an entire community. The handler watched, a lump forming in his throat. He had spent years training Coda, building a bond based on trust and command, but what he had just witnessed was something far more intrinsic, a spiritual link forged in an instant of shared understanding. "Lily," the handler began, his voice thick with emotion, his usual stern police demeanor replaced by an almost childlike wonder. "Thank you. Truly, thank you. I've never seen anything like it. Coda is a magnificent dog, highly trained, incredibly loyal, but he's also incredibly sensitive. Despite his size and strength, he feels pain deeply, and sometimes it can overwhelm his training instincts, especially when he can't articulate what's wrong. You saw past his agitation. You understood him where I failed." He explained that Coda had a history of being a highly disciplined dog, but also one who could be easily distressed by hidden discomforts, a trait he had learned to manage but never fully conquer until this moment. This was a side of Coda few ever saw, a vulnerability beneath the stoic, working dog exterior. Whispers of the extraordinary incident quickly began to spread beyond the immediate demonstration area. Phones were buzzing, stories were being exchanged, and before long, local news outlets picked up on the heartwarming narrative. "Little girl calms agitated police dog with a blink," read one online headline, quickly garnering thousands of shares. The community, initially just curious onlookers, now saw Lily as a quiet hero, a beacon of empathy. Her intuitive action had not only resolved a tense situation, but had also revealed a deeper truth about understanding and compassion. In the days and weeks that followed, Lily and Coda's unique bond only deepened. The handler, whose name was Officer Miller, would often arrange for Lily to spend time with Coda, always under supervision. It was clear that Coda regarded Lily with a special reverence, his usually watchful eyes softening whenever she approached. He would lean into her gentle touch, his powerful tail wagging with a joyous rhythm unique to their interactions. Lily, in turn, found in Coda a silent confidant, a powerful but gentle soul who understood her quiet empathy without needing any words. Their connection transcended the typical human-animal interaction. It was a profound, unspoken dialogue of mutual respect and affection. The officers at the K9 unit often remarked on how Coda seemed happier, more at ease, a subtle but significant change that everyone attributed to Lily's calming presence. It was a testament to the power of a single, empathetic gesture, blooming into a friendship that promised to be extraordinary. Lily's extraordinary act of empathy resonated far beyond the confines of the park that day, transforming her from a quiet, observant child into a local hero. The police department, deeply moved by her bravery and unique insight, wasted no time in recognizing her contribution. a special commendation ceremony was held at the precinct, a rare event for someone so young. Lily, dressed in her best Sunday clothes, stood shyly beside Chief Thompson, a man whose stern demeanor softened considerably in her presence. He praised her not just for her courage, but for her remarkable ability to connect with an animal that even seasoned professionals had struggled to understand. The certificate, framed and glossy, became a cherished possession, a tangible reminder of the day she had made a profound difference. The incident profoundly improved Koda's well-being. Once the thorn was removed and the underlying cause of his agitation understood, he seemed to shed a layer of chronic discomfort. His performances during subsequent training exercises and public demonstrations were sharper, more focused, and imbued with a newfound ease. The subtle tension that had often characterized his posture was gone, replaced by a relaxed confidence. His handler, Officer Miller, reported a deeper, more profound bond with Koda, attributing it entirely to Lily's intervention. Koda, now understood and pain-free, seemed not just happier, but more integrated into his role, his loyalty and effectiveness, enhanced by the simple act of having his pain acknowledged. Officer Miller found himself more attuned to Koda's subtle cues, learning from Lily's example to look beyond the immediate behavior to the underlying cause. Lily's story, amplified by local newspapers and television segments, quickly became a source of widespread inspiration. Children and adults alike found themselves reevaluating their approach to animals, and indeed, to each other. Empathy, once an abstract concept, was suddenly tangible, embodied in the image of a little girl blinking twice at a formidable police dog. Her gentle example sparked conversations in classrooms and family dinners about how to truly listen and observe, not just with words, but with intuition and an open heart. Animal shelters reported an uptick in adoption inquiries, many people citing Lily's story as their motivation to connect with animals on a deeper level. Lily, in her own quiet way, became an unwitting advocate for animal welfare, her simple act inspiring a wave of kindness that rippled through the community. Families began teaching their children the importance of observing animal body language, of recognizing signs of distress, and of approaching all creatures with respect and understanding. The incident carved a deep and lasting emotional impact on Lily herself. It reinforced her innate belief in the boundless power of kindness and the critical importance of careful observation. She learned that sometimes the most complex problems have the simplest solutions, hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone with the patience and the heart to see them. The memory of Koda's eyes, filled first with pain and then with gratitude, became a guiding force in her young life. It solidified her conviction that every living being, regardless of appearance or circumstance, deserves understanding and compassion. The experience taught her that true bravery wasn't about fighting, but about connecting, about offering a piece of oneself to soothe another's pain. It became a foundational moment, shaping her worldview and reinforcing her gentle spirit, a constant reminder of the extraordinary things that can happen when one dares to look beyond the obvious and act with a pure, empathetic heart. This single encounter had not only changed Koda's life but had quietly, profoundly, begun to shape Lily's own future. The unique friendship forged between Lily and Koda was not a fleeting moment of fame but a bond that deepened with time, becoming a quiet legend within their community. Lily, with her parents' permission and Officer Miller's warm invitation, occasionally visited the K9 unit. These visits were never disruptive, always respectful, and incredibly special. Koda would recognize her scent and her gentle footsteps long before she even entered his field of vision, his tail beginning a low, thumping rhythm against the kennel floor. He would greet her not with the boisterous energy he reserved for his handler, but with a soft nuzzle against her hand, a quiet acknowledgement of their shared history and unspoken understanding. Their connection transcended the usual boundaries between a child and a police dog, becoming a living symbol of how empathy could bridge species and circumstances. It was a relationship built on trust, respect, and the profound memory of a thorn that had brought them together, a testament to Lily's intuitive grace and Coda's responsive heart. However, even the strongest bonds can face unexpected challenges. A few months after the initial incident, a new, unsettling undercurrent began to ripple through certain segments of the community. A rumor started to circulate, hushed whispers at first, then growing louder, about an incident during a routine patrol. Coda, it was alleged, had displayed aggression towards a group of teenagers loitering near a local park after hours. The official report from Officer Miller stated that Coda had merely barked a warning, as trained, when the teenagers failed to disperse after multiple verbal commands. But the rumor mill, fueled by a few less than truthful social media posts, painted a different picture. Coda, the brave and gentle hero, was now being described as unpredictable, even dangerous, especially around young people. This misunderstanding threatened to tarnish not only Coda's reputation, but also the beautiful story of connection that Lily had so powerfully demonstrated. Fear, once dispelled, was now attempting to creep back into the public's perception, threatening to unravel the fragile trust that had been built. Lily, overhearing snippets of these conversations at school and during errands with her mother, felt a familiar pang of concern. She knew Coda, not just as a police dog, but as a sensitive, intelligent creature who had simply been in pain that day at the fair. She remembered the fear in his eyes, not aggression, and the deep gratitude he had shown her. Drawing on her past experience, her innate wisdom, and her unwavering belief in Coda, Lily instinctively knew how to address the growing apprehension. She understood that words alone might not be enough to counter the rising tide of misunderstanding. She needed to demonstrate Coda's true nature, to remind everyone of the gentle soul beneath the formidable exterior of a K-9 officer. She approached Officer Miller with her idea, her conviction shining in her earnest eyes. She proposed a new demonstration, perhaps at the upcoming town picnic, not just of Coda's obedience, but of his gentle connection with her. This new challenge, the creeping doubt and misunderstanding in the community, inadvertently reinforced the central theme that had brought them all together, the power of empathy and the crucial importance of looking beyond superficial appearances. It was a test, not just of Coda's training, but of the community's ability to remember and trust, to see beyond a quick judgment and embrace the broader truth. Lily was ready to prove once again that understanding always triumphs over fear, and that every story, especially one as pure as Coda's, deserved to be told accurately and felt deeply. Lily's unwavering belief in Coda, bolstered by Officer Miller's steadfast support, became the final, irrefutable argument against the whispers of that brief, misguided misunderstanding. She didn't need grand gestures. A simple, heartfelt explanation of Coda's past sensitivity, coupled with a demonstration of his profound gentleness around her, was enough. During a local television interview, Lily sat beside Coda, calmly stroking his head as she recounted how a tiny thorn had once caused such a big reaction, explaining that fear or pain could make anyone, even a strong police dog, act out of character. Officer Miller then showcased Coda's impeccable training and his calm demeanor, allowing the cameras to capture the dog's serene presence, completely discrediting any lingering doubts. The community, already touched by their initial story, witnessed firsthand the depth of their connection and the powerful truth in Lily's words. The rumor, once a small cloud on the horizon, dissolved completely, replaced by reinforced admiration for both the girl and the dog. Their bond was not just special, it was now undeniably resilient, a beacon of understanding in a world often too quick to judge. The culmination of their journey was not marked by a grand parade or a heroic rescue, but by a quiet, profoundly tender moment that echoed the very first time their worlds collided. One crisp autumn afternoon, during a visit to the K9 unit, Lily found Coda resting peacefully in his kennel, a rare moment of repose from his duties. She approached cautiously, her small hand reaching through the bars, and Coda, sensing her presence, lifted his head. His eyes, intelligent and full of a quiet wisdom, met hers. Without a word, Lily performed her signature double blink, a silent language of trust and affection they had developed. Coda responded by leaning his head gently into her palm, a soft whimper escaping him, a sound of pure contentment. The few officers present, witnessing this intimate exchange, instinctively fell silent. The air in the usually bustling K9 facility grew still, heavy with an unspoken understanding. It was a moment of profound beauty, a testament to the extraordinary impact of a simple, empathetic gesture. The room, just as it had been on that fateful day at the public safety fair, was left speechless, but this time with a warmth that filled every corner and a deep, appreciative admiration for the bond shared between a little girl and her police dog. This extraordinary journey, begun with a blink and a thorn, transcended the mere story of a girl and an animal. It became a powerful narrative about the essential qualities that bind all living creatures: empathy, observation, and unconditional love. Lily's story was a living testament that true strength often lay not in force, but in vulnerability, not in judgment, but in understanding. It underscored the profound lesson that beneath layers of training or instinct, every being desires to be seen, to be understood, and to be loved. Her unique ability to look beyond the surface, to intuit the silent suffering of another, taught everyone who heard their tale that kindness is a universal language, capable of bridging divides and healing unseen wounds. The impact she had, not just on Coda, but on her entire community, served as a potent reminder that the most significant changes often begin with the smallest acts of compassion. We hope Lily and Coda's incredible journey has touched your heart as deeply as it has ours. Their story is a beautiful illustration of how a moment of pure connection can illuminate the extraordinary power of empathy in our lives. If their bond resonated with you, please share your own stories of unexpected connections in the comments below. We love hearing how kindness has made a difference in your world. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming narratives, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next incredible tale. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.